What do men secretly want? Now, because we're going to talk about what men secretly want, I'm going to try to stay away from the obvious things that you may have heard that men want from other videos and other pop relationship psychology. We're going to talk about the things that a guy can't necessarily articulate, or maybe he doesn't want to articulate to you. And the purpose of this is to give you an advantage, a relational advantage, not over him, but just to be able to create a relationship where both of you are able to meet each other's needs. And the beauty of this is that when you can find an orientation in a relationship where you can be generous without compromising yourself, you set up a dynamic where they have the opportunity to be generous with you as well. So this isn't about just meeting a man's needs and not getting your needs met. This is about becoming a version of yourself that is generous, that is open, that creates a model and serves as a leader in the relationship so that there can be a reciprocity that flows back and forth between the two of you. Because as you give these things to him, it will illuminate the ways in which he can give to you as well. All right, the first one out of the gates is that he wants you to be able to walk away. What do I mean by that? To walk away. Well, that you have the power to break up with him, that you are able to be at choice about your ability to leave him if he crosses a line. Now, why is this important, right? I think there's a romantic notion about love that if you are fully in it and there's nothing the partner could do to ever have you walk away from them, I think that we're fooling ourselves, and I think there's a certain level of romantic naivety in that. Your ability to be able to walk away from this guy, your stance of having a certain line that this man would cross or a certain line that you won't cross internally that would have you exit the relationship and honor yourself over honoring the relationship is super important, because what it does is it allows your generosity and your acts of kindness to really be seen as a choice, okay? Because look, if your back is up against the wall and you don't have the ability to walk away from a relationship, it could be that the reason and the motivation for you doing kind things and doing nice things for the guy and maybe even being with him, it's coming from a place of fear, a fear of not wanting to lose him. People smell that. People can smell your intentions. They know whether it's said out loud or not, they can feel why you're doing things. When you can walk away, it immediately, in some ways, purifies and brings your intentions into integrity, and that you are there out of a choice, and the reason that you are showing up and being the way that you're being is from an act of choice and love rather than fear and obligation. So that's the first one, is he needs to know that you can walk away. Number two is he wants to experience your dark side. Now, what do I mean by dark side? I mean the side of you that is willing to fight, the side of you that is willing to be a little selfish from time to time, the side of you that might have a dark sense of humor, the side of you that perhaps you feel like you need to keep hidden from him. Because here's the thing, if you're not willing to bring all of you into the relationship with him, then your relationship becomes fragile and brittle. And it also becomes exhausting for you, because the relationship is then a territory where only one side of you gets to exist, and you don't get to bring some of these darker emotions into it. And if you're not willing to bring some of your darker emotions into the relationship, what that typically means is that you're not actually bringing your truth. You might not be bringing your upset, your anger, your sadness. You might be trying to hide that from him. And his experience, ironically and very straightforward, is that he will feel like he's not in relationship with all of you. He'll feel like he's in a relationship with some type of fake facade or a one-dimensional cardboard cutout of you, because the relationship is only vibrating at a certain frequency. But when you can bring your shadow aspect, when you can bring the dark side, when you can feel that the relationship has the strength and the resilience to handle all of you, it's actually an honor to him. Now, look, if you get stuck in a place where the relationship is only experiencing your shadow, your anger, your rage, your selfishness, then that is imbalanced because it doesn't have enough light. But the invitation here is to be able to be comfortable enough to bring all of you into the relationship and show him that he is worthy of getting all of you, the darker emotions, the lighter emotions, the truth, the harmony. Even sometimes maybe the harmony gets put to the side for a moment because there's something that you really need to honor, and maybe it feels selfish, or maybe it's something where it's very self-honoring, and the two of you are going to have a fight about it. He needs to be able to see that, because you then communicate to him that you actually trust he's strong enough to be able to handle it. And it is actually an act of respect to him rather than some type of betrayal to the relationship. Third thing that men secretly want from you is he wants you to challenge him but not dismiss him. Now that's key, because when a guy feels challenged, oftentimes there's a part of him that feels dismissed. And it's that feeling of being dismissed that usually causes him to either withdraw and pull away or get big and start a fight with you. So if you can challenge a man and maintain a deep level of respect for who he is, a deep level of honor and love, and still being in the corner and having your challenge come from a place of love and alignment with a vision of who you think he can be rather than a criticism about how he's currently being, this allows a guy's listening to stay more open and to feel like he is inspired to be a better man when he's with you. I get challenged to lighten up, to loosen up, to be less serious about things. And my partner does a phenomenal job at humorously pointing out places where I tend to be neurotic at times, places where maybe I've got a tight grip on something that I can relax and let go. And although there may be some feeling of that I'm doing something wrong, ultimately I know that she is truly being in service of helping me come into a place of integrity, self-respect, and love. And therefore, I trust it and I take the feedback. So the challenge has to come from a place of, I love you and this is why I'm saying it. Not, I disapprove of you and unless you fix your act, I can't love you. Here's a place where I see that could bring you more happiness, more alignment, and more joy. It's that type of orientation that allows your challenge to go in on a deeper level and for him to truly feel that he's got somebody in his corner who can help him become a better man. Another way that you can challenge a man is by challenging yourself. Are you continually looking for places to expand your awareness, to expand your life, to grow into versions of yourself that you are wanting to become? And we're not talking about maybe just getting a CrossFit membership, although that might work for some people, but maybe it means developing a spiritual practice and working on greater self-acceptance and greater love. Maybe it means hiring a coach or a therapist to work on these deeper territories of awareness and love. It might mean taking up new hobbies and expanding your passions about life. All of this, as you expand as a human being in the relationship, it challenges him to grow with you. It challenges him and serves as a model for him to look at his life and say, oh wow, where am I shut down? Where am I not doing these things? And where can I give myself greater permission to go on this same path or this same journey? And the beauty about self-growth is that as you change in the relationship and you change your relationship with yourself and fall more deeply in love with life, trusting life more, that translates to your relationship naturally. And the relationship geometry has no choice but to shift. If any of what I talked about today was intriguing and you would like to spend some more time with me and my teaching partner, Jack Butler, again, we've got a webinar below this video called The 3 Keys to Attract and Keep a High Quality Man. We call it to become relationship ready. And we dive into different archetypes that women unconsciously play. And we also talk about a certain type of vulnerability that cracks open a guy's heart and truly has him wanting to be a devoted partner if the two of you are right for each other. So click the link below this video, check it out, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below what you think of these different points. And if there's any other, throw them down there too. I'd love to see them.